It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Marquette head lacrosse coach, Meredith Black. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get involved in college coaching?
Yeah, so I was a captain of my team in college at Notre Dame, and I was a history major, like American history, basically. And I thought, I'd like to maybe teach in high school, but I was like, if I teach in high school, I definitely would want to coach too. But when I was like halfway through my senior year as a captain, my teammates actually said to me, "You should coach college." And I was like, "Really, you think?" And they were like, "Yeah, because I was a very much of a coaching captain. I would yell at my team. I feel like I took the role of like, I gotta demand things from them. And so they kind of inspired me to do it. And then I applied to some places, and I know we'll talk about it later, but got the job at Towson. And once I started there, I was like, yeah, this is a great profession for me.
What was it like, obviously, playing at Notre Dame and putting on that lacrosse jersey for Notre Dame?
Yeah, it was great. I was there early on in the program's existence. So it was like the first recruited athlete was a senior when I was a freshman. So I was like within the first, 5 years of the program like having recruits and stuff on the team. So we got to like do a lot of firsts. Like we were the first team when I was a sophomore, it was the first time we went to the NCAA tournament. And so it was cool. It was great. And Notre Dame is a really special place. So, and obviously with the tradition of everything, it was really special to be able to play there, and especially to accomplish so many firsts at Notre Dame as well.
What was it like, obviously, going as a player in 2002 and 2004 to the NCAA Championship?
Yeah, that was cool. That was, it's what you strive for and every day on a team, and is to, win a national championship. That's every college athlete's dream, I think. Even if it's harder to get to for some than others, I think it's still in everyone's mind as the ultimate goal. So just getting that opportunity to do that, and the NCAA did a good job still does a good job of like making it special for the tournament and stuff. And so that was cool. That was an experience that I really enjoyed, and I was glad I got a chance to do it twice.
What was it like, obviously, coming out of college, getting your first coaching job at Tulsa?
Towson.
Yeah, Towson.
Yeah. It was awesome. So Missy Doherty was my boss and the head coach there at the time. She's now at Penn State, but she was a really great mentor for me, and she still is to this day. She just like took me under her wing and showed me the way of college coaching. And you don't realize I was really young. I mean, I was right out of college, so I was the same age as some of my players. So that was hard, a little bit of an adjustment, but we made it work, and they were great. They gave me a lot of respect to be their coach. But I think adjusting from being on the field and being able to go out and do it to not being allowed to go out and do it, but having to kind of show people and tell people how to do it, that was a big adjustment for me. But it was really, really fun, and I loved having Missy help me out along the way.
How did it feel, obviously, to go back to your alma mater of Notre Dame to be a part of the coaching staff?
Yeah, that was, Notre Dame, like I said before, is a special place. So my heart is and was always there. And so it was an easy, once the job opened up and my former coach asked me to take it, it was an easy yes. But it's definitely, it was definitely different being on the other side. I think I had so much passion for the school and wanting the success for the program. But again, I wasn't able to be on the field, and even though a couple of years earlier I was on that field. So I think trying to manage my my past of being able to go out there and do it and put that Irish jersey on, to then switching over to just being the person to help the others do it. It was fun, but it was definitely an adjustment.
What was that transition like, obviously, with being so close in age still with some of your former players like that at Notre Dame?
Yeah, I think you just kind of draw a line. You don't really, it's not like in it, and they're good. I mean, you let them talk to you to a point, and if they try to cross over that line of being too close, or being maybe saying something or asking for something that you would ask a teammate, you just kind of tell them, But I think for the most part, the girls understand and they respect that I'm no longer the coach. But at the same time, I think it's nice because they know I can relate, and I can actually I have experienced what they're experiencing. So that part was really good because they could rely on me for some other things that maybe another coach couldn't have given them. But at the same time, I think they understood that whenever I drew a line, they understood that was needed because I am their coach. I'm not their friend.
What was it like, obviously, going to the NCAA tournament as a coach at Notre Dame?
That was fun. I mean, we won the Big East one of my years there, and so that was great. And then yeah, again, I mean, anytime you get a chance to go to the NCAA tournament, either as a coach or a player. I mean, now it's been more time as a coach than it is as a player, but it's a great experience, and yeah, it's just you're one step closer to holding that trophy over your head.
How did it feel, obviously, leaving your alma mater to go to California-Berkeley as the assistant coach?
Yeah, I think it's bittersweet. I think it's always anywhere. Leaving Towson was hard because the girls are the best part about it. The girls that you coach are the best part about this job of coaching. And so when you connect with a team, it's always hard to leave. So leaving Notre Dame was hard, was doubly hard because I was very connected to the players, but also connected to the school. So that was hard, but it was kind of a necessary move for my family purposes. My husband, or my fiance at the time, was moving out there to work. So it made sense, but everything happens for a reason, because I was able to work with Teresa Sherry, who is a huge blessing and one of my best friends now. And so I was able to gain a lot more experience. So it was really good. It was a really good move for me, really helped me grow. While I was at Cal, the program got cut and reinstated all within the same year because of financial reasons. They cut it, and a couple of other programs at Cal. But then we and the other programs were able to raise money, so they brought them back. So that was a very interesting year to deal with all that. But again, I connected with the team a lot, and I loved working with that group of girls.
What was it like, obviously, coming to Marquette and becoming the head coach for the first time in your career?
So that was great. While I was at Cal, and actually it was during the period of time when we thought the program was no longer going to come back, this job opened up at Marquette, and I said, it's in the Midwest, which is an ideal place for me personally to live. I really like the Midwest. I'm from the East Coast, but if I have a choice, I'd live in the Midwest. So that was good. It was in the Big East Conference, which is the conference I played and coached in. So that was comfortable and familiar. I was really interested in starting a new program from the ground up. So that was part of it. So I really went after this job hard because for all those reasons, I thought it was a really good fit for me. Plus it'd be my first head coaching job, which is great too. And so I really did all I could to get the job, and clearly it worked. But yeah, no, I think it's a fit in all phases for me.
How was the 2019 season, obviously going to the Big East semifinal?
That was a really memorable year for me. Again, a huge connection with the team that year, which I have had every year here at Marquette. But it was a special team, and it was so fun. And we beat Georgetown that year, which they were ranked at the time, and that was the first time we had beat them. And so there's a lot of firsts in that season, and a lot of stuff that we had been working really hard to get, that we finally saw it starting to pay off. So that was really fun, really fun year. And yeah, really cool that we made it to that Big East tournament for the first time.
Who are some of the teams that you face in the Big East?
Well, right now our conference is us, Georgetown, Villanova, UConn, Butler, Denver is in our conference, and then Xavier is adding, but they're not starting this year. They start next year, I believe.
What's it like, obviously, playing UConn and a future Xavier team?
UConn's great. Like they've definitely, they're on the rise right now. So they're doing great. They're a lot like us. Every game we've played since I started here against UConn has been like a 1 or 2 goal game or whatever. Whether we won, I think we've only beat them once or twice, but whether we win or they win, it's always a very close margin. So those games have been, so they're a very similar team to ours, and I'm actually friendly with the head coach as well. And, I think we have similar styles of how we coach and handle our teams. And then, Xavier, that'll be fun. I don't know. I mean, there'll be a new program out of the Midwest, which is always great to see us growing. And so, yeah, I'm excited to add another team into our conference, and especially someone that's like close in proximity as well. So that'd be great.
What are some of your accomplishments so far as head coach at Marquette?
I think I've had a lot of so off the field, we've gotten in 2017 and 2019, we've gotten community service awards, meaning we did the most community service of any team in the Division I those 2 years, which was really a huge accomplishment as part of the mission of Marquette University. So I'm really proud of that accomplishment. But on the field, I had our first All-American in 2019 with Grace Gabriel. She's also played in the Athletes Unlimited League this year, in the inaugural league, which was really cool. I had Biz Gosley. She's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. She was all-region player for us, all conference, and then also played on the U.S. national team for a couple of years. So those players have been great coming out of Marquette. And then, yeah, I think just making the biggest tournament, knocking off our first ranked opponent. We've had a lot of firsts, winning our first game. It started there, and then winning our first conference game, and then going to the Big East tournament, and then winning, whatever it may be, we started to knock those off. And I think we still have a lot to go. We have to win a Big East. We have not beat Denver. We're going to do that. And we got to win a Big East tournament. So we have a long way to go, but we've taken a lot of good steps of just knocking off some of those firsts.
That's so amazing. What does the recruitment process look like for prospective student athletes looking to play college lacrosse?
Yeah, I think we in most programs, we like to recruit from club teams. So we'll recruit kind of all summer, and we will evaluate at these tournaments that go on all throughout the country all during the summer, and basically the girls play with their club teams, and then we evaluate those clubs, and then obviously when we're allowed, we'll reach out and go from there. But I think our major access point of these girls, we also host camps and clinics throughout the year at our schools, and we get a lot of players from those as well. But I think the major way we find our talent here is through the club circuit.
What does the official visit look like for prospective student athletes looking to play college lacrosse?
Yeah, so we do official visits and unofficial. The unofficial is obviously when they kind of come on their own within the time period they're allowed, obviously. They have to be a junior in high school to do it. Has to be past September 1st of their junior year. And then those visits, if we can, we'll get them to a men's basketball game. If not, we like to bring them to another sporting event on campus. We're right in downtown Milwaukee, so we have a lot of access to really, really great restaurants. So we'll take, most of our recruits out to some good eating while they're here. And really the highlight is to show them around, give them a tour, make sure they know what they know what they're looking at. Try to get them to a class. If not, maybe meet with an advisor in an area of studies that they're interested in. They meet with they meet with a lot of people while they're here, meet with our strength coach, they meet with our academic advisor, they meet with a bunch of different people, and then they spend as much time as they can with the team. So we really try to maximize the visit so they get all the meetings in that they need to get in to kind of know what they're getting themselves into with Marquette, but also spending some time with some players on the team, because it's the current team that sells this program more so than what I could do.
What's it like, obviously, seeing those prospective student athletes obviously meet with your team and obviously bond with your team? And also, what is it like seeing them put on that jersey for the first time, seeing if they feel at home at Marquette?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. The recruiting process is funny. It's a little bit of a game, and you can't like get too invested in every kid that we recruit, because some choose other places. I don't know why, but they do. So I think just, when we get that, I think it's more that, like, that connection, like I said, that I have with my current team. If you can build that connection with a recruit, usually it's mutual. That's really special. And then when they call you to tell you that they want to come, that's always the most special call. And that's always the best part of the recruiting process, because I'll tell them on the phone, I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. You made my day. And I'm not lying. Like, I'm literally, they made that day better when they call me and tell me that they're coming, because if they're calling me to say they're coming, it's because they felt a connection. They know this is where their heart is, and all that feel is really important to the process of being recruited.
What advice would you give prospective student athletes looking to play college lacrosse?
I would say make the process your own. Don't feel like if your teammate is committing that you have to commit. Don't compare yourself to others, basically, which is a life lesson, not just a recruitment lesson. Make the process your own, and work hard. I mean, I think there is a lot of, like, you got to advocate for yourself. You got to put yourself out there. You got to get yourself seen by coaches, and you got to be willing to kind of put in some work to do that. There is work, not only just like athletically or physical work. There's like a lot of emails, and there's a lot of, communication stuff behind the scenes that you got to do research. You got to know what you want, and know what the school you're looking at. So there's a lot of work, but it will pay off, and it will help you find the place of your dreams. But be willing to put in that work, and be willing to make the process your own, and not compare to your teammates. And lastly, I'd say, find that connection. That connection is really important. So when you connect with a school or a coach or a team or whatever, like, don't just let that be a fleeting moment. Like, definitely embrace that, because that really will make a difference in your final decision.
What advice would you give college athletes looking to go from being college athletes of lacrosse to obviously going to Athletes Unlimited and playing professional lacrosse?
Yeah, I think like anything, professional athletes are elite, right? They're the top of the top, because to be a Division I athlete, you're already elite. You're already a top of some of the top, and then to take the next step and be a professional athlete, you're the top of that top. So I think, when you're in college, really making the most of every minute you have. If your goal is to continue to play and go on and be a professional, you got to take advantage of the time in college is when you'll have the time you'll have a strength coach at your fingertips. You have a lacrosse coach at your fingertips. You have a field available to you. You have, equipment, like, you have everything at your fingertips available to you. So you've got to use it. And every moment that you have free in your day, you should be spending making yourself better. That doesn't mean playing lacrosse every moment. That means getting good rest, eating healthy, and studying so that you have time, whatever it may be. Your goal should be focused on that goal, that ultimate goal of becoming that professional athlete. And you should be taking steps and planning your days so that you maximize that time to be able to make yourself better. As a lacrosse player, as a human, as an athlete, as a person, whatever it may be, as a scholar, whatever it may be, you should constantly keep that goal and then reverse engineer back to what you're doing that day.
What advice would you give future college coaches looking to get started in college coaching in the lacrosse level?
Yeah, I mean, I think do it. I think that's like, I think there's a little bit of like, oh, should I coach or would I like coaching? And you don't know until you do it. I think coaching is unique. It's a unique job. It's long hours. It's emotionally, it's like there's a lot of emotion involved. There's a lot of psychological, everything's involved. It's like physical, emotionally, psychologically, it can get draining, but it's also like physically, psychologically, emotionally amazing at the same time. So I think like, try it and do it and jump in with a full positive attitude about it. And it can become a career, and it can become a great career, because the benefits of coaching heavily outweigh the some of the parts of coaching that are hard. I mean, coaching's hard, like coaching's not easy. There's tough days and there's tough long months and there's tough whatever weeks, but the benefits that you get with the connections you build and the relationships you build and the being able to be competitive every single day of your life, like all those things, you'll be a happier person because you'll be doing something you really love. But yeah, you gotta just be willing to kind of dive in and take the good with the bad.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Marquette lacrosse program?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram at msimonblack27, and I'm on Twitter I gotta look this up. I don't know my little handle here. I should have known that. I'm at Twitter at Meredith Black 1, and I'm on Facebook. And then my team, our Instagram is Marquette W Lax, and we are also on Facebook and Twitter as well as the same ones. And I think we have a TikTok page, but it's not really active right now. But I think we're going to start trying to maybe have some players work on that a little bit. So
thank you again, Coach Meredith Black, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Marquette lacrosse program.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Meredith Black, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you. You too.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.